George Lucas. The person who is Indiana Jones Harris Ford. And the person who is the glue to all 5 of these films that gave us all of our rhythm and all of our melody, the great maestro, John Williams.
So, everything we ever suspected of Rotten Tomatoes has come to fruition. Here is a story about Rotten Tomatoes under fire after PR firms scheme to pay critics for positive reviews. I don't think this is an isolated incident. I think a lot of films got positive reviews over the years that were not appreciated by the audiences. And really, are the audiences that far away from what the critics thought of a movie? I don't think so. This is obviously a something that they do or have done in the past. A company will hire a PR firm to pay lower level reviewers to put positive reviews to up Rotten Tomatoes score. The movie in question is a movie called Ophelia. Now we know Ophelia is one of the characters in Hamlet, and it's Hamlet from her perspective. The movie starred Daisy Ridley and Clive Owen and Naomi Watts. And we all know the story of Hamlet. It's about the Prince of Denmark whose father was murdered by his uncle, and Ophelia is supposed to be his wife, or he's to marry her, and she ends up killing herself. And of course, this is some sort of feminist take, which, of course, Daisy would love to be in this movie. I could see 30 years ago a Helena Bonham Carter really kicking the shit out of this movie, but whatever. She would have been great. And it's not to say anything about Daisy, except when I look at her, I get Ray PTSD. Okay. So I can't look at her without cringing. So what happened is the PR firm, Bunker 15, started paying these low-level critics $50 a pop to goose the score to fresh. It was 46 and it went up to 62, certified fresh. And then IFC Films bought the movie for distribution. And that's how it went. Now, was Daisy good in it? I don't know. I haven't seen it. The movie is not a movie that I would be interested in watching or being part of, because movies like this, in my opinion, tend to be boring. But it tells me something. It talks to the fact that fans who are upset with critics at Rotten Tomatoes basically lying about how good a movie was were right. And it speaks to the corruption of the studio media matrix. Okay. Do I see other studios doing this? Yes. I see PR firms hired by Lucasfilm giving glowing reviews of The Last Jedi. Remember, we saw review bombs, good ones, showing up on Rotten Tomatoes when the movie was terrible. And this Ophelia wasn't that good, I don't think, anyway. if it could only get a 62% or whatever fresh rating from Rotten Tomatoes, it wasn't a good movie, and probably spoke to the fact that the story wasn't what people were looking for. Daisy Ridley isn't everybody's favorite actress. But what other movies have this happened to? Probably blockbusters that were not that good. When we saw the reviews of The Last Jedi come out after the premiere in Los Angeles, it wasn't exactly what people expected, especially once we heard the spoilers. Okay, so in my opinion, Disney does it. Disney would hire a PR firm to do that. Warner Brothers would. Sony would. Pathé Films would. IFC definitely would, etc., etc. I mean, look, again, this is a small little teacup of an issue amongst a huge meandering river of garbage from the studio media matrix.
I can't believe this. You're actually kicking me out?
Do you want me to draw you a picture?
We'd be here all night.
Get out! Not one more crooked word. Your tongue could open a wine bottle.
She never had an agent. It's not like she worships the devil.
Well, she doesn't have to. He worships her. Oh, she's horrible. I've made a ghastly, ghastly mistake.
Literally one of the worst movies ever written, ever created, and just not good storytelling. It is not what people wanted for the second installment of the trilogy, sequel trilogy. It catered to the lowest common denominator, which basic woke shit with Haldo and Kelly Marie Tran. And also, who can help it? Basically, Rose Tico is a construct of Maoist bullshit. And of course, the lowest of all is the catering to the airheadedness and sociopathy of Reylos. Okay. How does it get a 91% fresh rating when the audience hated it? Because Disney's PR people went out and harvested good reviews for it. They paid probably a lot more than $50 a review. Okay. Probably a lot more. And it's interesting when you look at how people would see reviews saying they all say the same thing. That is a review bot, in my opinion. Look, how else would they get things like this to trend on Twitter? Back when X was Twitter and bots were aplenty, you could buy bots. I remember very well people auditing Ryan Johnson's Twitter account, and over half were fake that he bought, okay? And X still has problems with that because that is a lucrative business for shady people, okay? But how would you get The Last Jedi Reylo to trend? You'd use your bot farm, right? Another way for Disney and Lucasfilm and the woke folk to kind of go and ding the news a little bit and fashion a narrative is to go in and fake a trend, fake Reylo trending, fake Kyle Ron trending, fake The Last Jedi trending, fake the rise of Palpatine trending, which by that time did not get good reviews because Disney wasn't going to waste money on buying reviews from people with their PR firms, because at that time, 2019, Bob Iger and then Bob Chapek wanted this bitch gone, okay? But they did use, I think, fake reviews for The Last Jedi, okay? Again, there are plenty of bad movies out there that got fake reviews, okay? Now, we could look at The Acolyte. The only people talking about The Acolyte are probably paid for fan websites. Probably somebody at Lucasfilm is still paying these people to pretend it's actually happening, all right? Without any real official word from the Walt Disney Company, okay? Which, just canceled Ironheart, okay? They're canceling shit right and left. And yet here we are with this. In a world guarded by the internet and run like the internet, you're going to have fake news trending. The Acolyte, The Last Jedi is a great movie. You're going to have fake narratives being creative. Reylo and The Last Jedi is a great movie. Look, people in Hollywood know The Last Jedi is shit, okay? The critics knew it was shit, okay? And look, I know a critic. He still can't bring himself to actually say out loud that it's shit, but I know he thinks that. You can't tell me the other way. You can't tell me The Force Awakens isn't shit. All of those reviews are bullshit. Probably paid for, and if they didn't get money, they were told either give it a good review or you don't get to sit down with our cast next time. That is absolute crap. And it defies ethics, in my opinion. But it also speaks to the fact that the fans at the time, 2018, 2019, and 2020, were right about the issues with Rotten Tomatoes. That it was too fakey, that it was not that it was not true what they were posting. And it's like this, when I think about it, if you have a movie that you spent $300 million on, and I'm not talking about Indiana Jones, all right? I think they went unfairly the other way on that because Iger told them to. But in some ways, I'm kind of glad. In some ways, I'm very glad. And that's all I can say on that. However, you have a movie like TLJ, the people who should love it are like, this is shit. The critics go, oh, it's wonderful. Is there that much a discrepancy between critics and the fans? I don't think so. So I think that Lucasfilm, if not Disney, went out and harvested reviews from people, just like they used a bot farm, to trend garbage on Twitter. Okay, that's my opinion, and I think I'm right. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.